Salutations, utopians. Um, Wanted to highlight this big trade that I read today by Shams uh, on his Twitter page. The Clippers, Jazz, and Heat uh, did an exchange. Norman Powell goes to Miami. As you all know, he had 22 points per game last season. People were lobbying for him to be an all-star. John Collins, who was running with Atlanta, then they got another high flyer and James Johnson. He became expendable. Has been, you know, hiding in Utah, so to speak. But he had 18-9. He's scoring from three levels. I think 38% from three. Good free throw shooter, all of the above. And then Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson, veterans from Miami who go to Utah. I know some people like to say that's the place where vets go to expire. The Clippers got a second round pick to the Jazz also for 2027. And my immediate thoughts were, look, great for the Clippers. They got Collins. He's a four, traditional four. You also got Derrick Jones. So they've solidified a position that a lot of teams in this league don't have. There's been a shortage of power forwards. I've been saying this for a while. Lawrence Frank, witty enough to go ahead and close in on that market, because just starting two bigs in a front lineup can get you ran off the court. It's still the fastest paced era we've ever witnessed. And if you think you're going to just clog the paint, you're in for a rude awakening. So that was a very resourceful move by Lawrence Frank. I know people want to say Collins hasn't been the same player. He's the guy who infamously got dunked on by Anthony Edwards. Listen, none of that matters. This was a great pickup, and he's doing 18 in Utah with a crowded front court and a lot of backcourt players trying to prove themselves, and yet he went out there and still delivered 18 a game. So that was major. Norman Powell, to me, is just comical how people are acting like he's 32 years old. He's been mostly his best self when anywhere Kawhi is. Like, he's the J.R. Smith to Carmelo Anthony. And now he's going to Miami, and it's loaded over there. Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero. They just moved off Duncan Robinson, but Miami always stays loaded. Pelly Larson is waiting. Hasquez, Jokic, Andrew Wiggins is still there. Haywood Highsmith. They drafted Kaspas with their first pick. So, and Keyshawn Johnson, not Keyshawn, is making a great case for himself in the summer league, having himself a solid performance. So when you really see this unfold, he's going to be fighting for touches. This is for you old school Miami fans. This is like getting Eddie House. He'll be lucky to get 10 a game with how many hands are in the pot. This is not even mentioning Bam, Kyle Ware's emergence. There's going to be so many things that go into play in order for this to work out, for him to even be remotely the player he is. Last year was an anomaly. Let me tell you how many players I've witnessed that if you build an offense around them, of course they're going to do numbers. I watched Tyreek Evans. I watched Isaiah Thomas Jr. And he's not known by Junior, but I just, senior, junior, there are certain players you watch that if you put a system around them, they're going to do numbers. And Tyreek Evans was gifted, but I'm just saying, like, you really do got to be aware that he's not getting primary option opportunities anywhere. What happened last year with Norman Powell is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, where James Harden is chasing assists. He's the primary distributor, and he needs a second guy to step up. Zubac is not really considered a household threat. Kawhi was out for an extended amount of time. Dunn is not a scorer. He's a lockdown defender. And Porter, at the time before he got traded for Bogdan, was just getting back acquainted coming over from Greece. So he was really in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And because he won a championship in 2019 with Kawhi, he got the benefit of the doubt, and he capitalized because he's a three-level scorer. But guess what? That's not the reality in Miami. First of all, their glaring weakness is they don't have a distributor. So there is no James Harden. Ironically, this trade needed to be James Harden. for Miami to really be a title contender threat. And so them not getting that, and Tyler Hero, I guess, is going to have to play some one. Davion Mitchell is not a natural one. I know Kevin Durant and Steve Nash, and I'm mind of the game with LeBron. They were over here talking about the new mold of 6'3" point guards. But listen, Davion is not a natural distributor. He's a slasher who can score, and he plays a high energy game. He's more Colin Sexton than he is, Lonzo Ball, Josh Giddey. So that's kind of what Miami needs to balance out all this talent, and they didn't do that. So really, this is just like, oh, he's available, why not? We can, he costs next to nothing. Coming off Kyle Anderson isn't, when, like I said, they got Haywood Highsmith waiting in the cut, and Kevin Love has been occupying a roster spot similarly to, Udonis Haslem in that veteran, more coach than player role. Juwan Howard did it for years for the Miami. A lot of guys come and go and do that capacity role. But this is not, I'm seeing people questioning the Lakers and why they can't do this and that and all this. Norman Powell is not the needle mover y'all want to make him out to be. There's not even going to be the chance for him to be that crazy. He's back to his reserve role identity, and, cool trade and all that, but the Clippers stood to benefit the most. They won this trade. The Jazz just wanted to clear house so that they can keep on developing their talent, the Flipowskis, and continue to tank. Cody Williams, brother of Jalen Williams of the world champion Oklahoma City Thunder, Ace Bailey, Collier, that's what they're focused on. Walter Clayton. So that cleared out that, get some veteran presence. I don't know if Kevin Love gets bought out. He'll probably end up on an LA team if he can. He's always wanted to, he has LA ties, but the Clippers won. This was a great deal for them, honestly. This is what they needed, and now this might open the door to land Chris Paul, do that farewell tour. Obviously, Lob City, even though they're in a different stadium, will forever be tied and identified with the, with the Clippers' identity and DNA. I tell people all the time, you don't have to win a championship in order to be recognized as a legacy team. And for me, that team will be all-time great. I still use the DeAndre Jordan emoji to react to nasty alley-oop dunks. Like Blake Griffin, what he did for them. Everything about the Clippers will always be special. And so it would be great to see a farewell reunion tour. James Harden, even though they had bumped heads in Houston, that would be a great connection right there for Chris Paul to have another backcourt mate. And James Harden, in order to preserve himself for the postseason, it would be nice if someone else could handle the lead distributor responsibilities vast majority of the time. This would be great for all sides, especially what Chris Paul has done for bigs. This would help Zubac take that leap. So there's nothing but love for this, and expecting Kawhi to go into this season fully healthy, knowing that he went into the postseason, finished the postseason strong. This is what you want if you're the Clippers. Everything looks promising. Hope the video was informative, Utopians. Try to do better next time. Global out.